For those long-time viewers, I imagine you're watching this thinking, my gosh, what took you so long to create this video? And rightfully so, because this was originally created at the back end of 2020. Starting it in 2018, it took a very long time to create. There was a lot of burnout, a lot of kind of brick walls that consistently slowed me down. Because, as you can imagine, the amount of sheer sculpt, re-engineering, shaping, there is a lot to this custom. And I have to say, going through and editing this video, I'm actually, I'm going to give myself a bit of a pat on the back. The sculpt detail for its time is pretty darn good. And I don't really do these full builds anymore, so watching this video play out, I kind of impressed myself with this custom. As silly as that sounds, as egotistical as that sounds, but yeah, I really liked this one. I did end up making it to sell. Originally I was creating it for myself, that's why there is so much compacted in there, and that's why it's so stylized with the face and the tongue and that huge jaw and all the sculpt. But yeah, in the end, Marvel Legends, those molds, even though they were nice for the time, I obviously grew out of them and created this for someone to purchase. And it did end up getting snapped up by one of my Patreon members, and it's still in their collection to this day, which is wonderful. Anti-Venom, once again, is an end of an era. I will not be taking on any more Anti-Venom commissions. The struggle of getting a white custom paint rub free and the difficulties behind that is too extravagant and the price is too high.
I just can't do it.
So seeing this footage, gosh, it's been such a long time since I actually saw this stuff. The amount of work that I put into this guy is crazy. So first it started off by completely dremeling the body down to add like a texture of almost muscle definition all throughout the body. And then everything was prepped or color matched to white. And then I had to have a lot of clearance for the joints because of the overlaying sculpt. And then everything was re-sculpted from scratch. Definitely wasn't easy, that's for sure.
Articulation.
And under these bright lights, all these colors that are popping straight off the custom, it's gorgeous, man. And you know what? Whenever I sit there and I go, oh man, I love the way I did these paint applications. I love the way that I did the sculpt. It comes across really cunty. And it's hard to do that, when you review a figure, you go, oh yeah, I really like the paint applications, it's got this subtle this and this and this, and oh my god, I love the way that they did. But when you're the one creating it, and you say nice things about your own creation, for some reason it just comes across really arrogant. But I really do like this one, man. I'm impressing myself just by going through this footage.
I mean, it's alright,
So as you can see, it all articulates, and you know what? I had to really cut this video right down. I was really pedantic, really obsessed with every tiny little articulation point and how it had to function and have absolutely no issues and no rub whatsoever. Seriously, this whole segment was a good 25 minutes of me going through every single little tiny articulation bit. So I cut the crap out of this because you don't want to be sitting there going through everything, because at the end of the day, this is basically like an Omega Red with some Hyperion parts here and there, which were Anti-Venom, so it was white plastic, and they were just kind of forced together, spliced, cut, reshaped, especially those inner thighs. But that, for the most part, it's basically an Omega Red. You know how these things articulate by now. It's just the functionality of it showing that it works. The legitimacy, the functionality is, hey, I can create a fully functioning custom action figure that articulates. Blah, 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 and I go on and on about this, quality that, quality this, quality that. Oh my god, how many times have you guys heard this? It's like the same shit on repeat. At the end of the day, what the fuck else am I supposed to say? Don't settle for basic bitch shit. Just do the hard work. Get in, grind. Get the functionality down, then add all the bullcrap on top of it to make it look pretty. Too many people this day and age, they push out quick content just to get clout, just to get likes, just to get the positivity, just to get those. Gotta get that dopamine fix. Nah, fuck that shit, dude. Hard work, just determination, just quality. I'm a big quality over quantity dude, and I always will be. I would rather spend a decent chunk of money on one item that functions perfectly than have 20 of those items and have maybe 2 that are okay. Basic, you know, no thanks. I'm all about that quality, bro. So just on that topic, here's me putting it into a couple of poses just to show you that you can throw this thing around and have fun with it. Like all my customs, honestly, you can pretty much, if they're on Legends bases, you can go ham. You can get them in those crazy Instagram poses where you see them do all these fantastic things. But for the most part, I am pretty god awful at doing this stuff. You know, it's weird, I have these fully articulated customs, but I don't really play with them. I really don't articulate them. That's not my cup of tea. I like the creation of the custom. That's my jam. And if they move, bonus.
Difficulty.
So there was definitely trials and tribulations. The biggest problem with this Omega Red mold is the butterfly joints, the clearance. One thing that I take incredible pride in is having my figures articulate fully with barely any joint prep gaps. So I like pretty much no gapping, and I like to have, you know, no carved out big chunks of plastic. I try to keep it basically like the figure hasn't been touched by any sanding whatsoever. So sometimes I'll go in and resculpt areas over the top, like a lip, like a cover, so that it doesn't look like it's been touched. Here I'm actually going in with a hard file, because I don't want to crack that crotch piece all over again. Honestly, most of the difficulties came from this dumb crap. So back in the day I used to use Vallejo and Citadel and Model Masters. These paints are not meant for custom action figures. Nope. They are god fucking awful. I do not recommend them. You're gonna have so much trouble with this crap. Seriously guys, stay the fuck away from this type of paint. So after unclogging my airbrush over 1,000,000 times due to the fact that this paint sucks ass, I eventually got this nice grey white on here, this like primer. For whites, you know, normally I go grey and then go white. It's the same for yellows, some reds. You need that grey or white primer down. But this was because I wanted a zenithal prime. So basically you put like a very... it's normally a darker colour down, but for this I just wanted it to be subtle. So it's like a light grey. And then I'm basically just shooting white down. And all it's doing is catching all the edges and making it look way better. And then obviously I'm going to go in with shades and all that stuff later. Use this paint for head sculpts, you're not going to have any issues. I really liked the wet blending I did on the mouth. That orange, yellow, red hue. I think it really pops. It makes Anti-Venom, you know. I really like that aspect of his design. Now for this is the sealer. Sealers are the most important thing you can do to your custom. So I mentioned I used all that crappy paint. This sealer is going to make that durability, man. This is going to make it so incredibly strong. Downside is it dulls your paint applications. And on that note, I'll love you and leave you. Really appreciate you guys watching the video, and to all my Patreon members, I know that I say this every video, but I genuinely mean it. Your support means a lot. All the funding, all the backing, you know, basically, you guys genuinely interested in paying money to see some work in progress, behind the scenes action, some videos early, you know, that just supports me be able to purchase a base body so that I can create another custom to create a video. Guys, it genuinely means a lot that you're willing to kind of support that and allow this job, I suppose, this hobby, this passion that I have to create these things, to keep it going. And I genuinely appreciate you guys so much, so thank you.